Hello, my name is Lily.
And my name is Max.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Talk Fluent Hub. I'm so excited you're here with us today. Whether you're listening on your commute, at home, or anywhere in the world, we are so glad you tuned in.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. It's always a great day when we get to sit down and talk English together. How are you all doing? I hope you're having a fantastic day wherever you are right now.
You know, before we get started, I have to share something. The other day, I was texting my friend, and I wrote, "You should called me earlier." And my friend texted back, "What?" And I realized, oh no, I made a grammar mistake. It was so embarrassing.
Oh, no. That's actually really funny, though. And you know what? That is exactly what we're going to talk about today. Because that mistake, should called, is one of the most common mistakes English learners make.
That's right. Today on Talk Fluent Hub, we're going to look at two super important English phrases, should and should have. They sound a little similar, but they mean very different things. And once you understand the difference, your English is going to sound so much more natural.
By the end of this episode, you're going to know exactly when you should and when you should have. You'll be able to give advice, talk about past mistakes, and express regret, all in natural, everyday English.
And here's a little question for you right now. Do you know the difference between you should study more and you should have studied more? Which one is about the present and which one is about the past? Write your answer in the comments. We love reading what you think. Yes, drop your answer down there. And while you're at it, make sure you're subscribed to Talk Fluent Hub so you never miss an episode. Hit that subscribe button right now. It really helps us keep making content for you. Okay, let's not waste any more time. We've got a lot of great English to explore today. Let's dive in. Let's do it. Here we go. All right, let's start with the basics. Let's talk about should. Now, should is a modal verb. That's a grammar word, but don't worry, we're going to make it really simple. Modal verbs are helper verbs. They help the main verb give a special meaning, and should gives the meaning of advice, recommendation, or what is the right or correct thing to do.
Exactly. Think of it this way. When you say should, you're talking about now or the future. You're telling someone what is a good idea, what you think the right action is going forward.
The structure is really easy. Are you ready? Here it is. Subject plus should plus base verb. That's it. Subject plus should plus base verb. Let me give you some examples. You should drink more water. She should see a doctor. They should leave early to avoid traffic. You should call your mother more often. He should apologize for what he said. Do you hear how all of those are talking about now or the future? You should drink more water. That means right now or starting today, it's a good idea for you to drink more water. It's advice.
Right, and here's something really important. Should is not a command. It's not the same as must or have to. When you say should, you're making a suggestion. You're saying this is a good idea, but it's the other person's choice.
Yes, that's such an important point. You should exercise more is friendly advice. You must exercise more sounds much stronger, like a rule. Should is softer. It's like saying, hey, I think this would be good for you. Okay, let's talk about the negative form, because you can also use should not, and in speaking, we almost always say shouldn't. Subject plus shouldn't plus base verb. You shouldn't eat so much sugar. He shouldn't drive if he's tired. We shouldn't be late for the meeting. See? Same structure, just with not added. Can you think of a piece of advice you'd give to a friend right now? Something they should do or shouldn't do? Maybe you should get more sleep, or you shouldn't skip breakfast. Pause the episode and say it out loud. Say it 3 times if you can. Speaking is the best way to practice. And here's a personal example from me. Every morning, my alarm goes off at 6:30, and every morning, I hit the snooze button. My husband always says, you should wake up the first time the alarm rings. He's right. I know he's right. I just don't do it. We all have those things. I should go to the gym more often. I've been saying that for months. My gym bag is just sitting by the door looking at me every day. The gym bag that never leaves the house. I think we all have one of those. So let's quickly review this section. Should is used for giving advice, making recommendations, or saying what is the right thing to do. The structure is subject plus should plus base verb. The negative is shouldn't plus base verb, and it always refers to now or the future. Okay, now that we understand should, let's add one more piece to the puzzle, should have. And this is where things get really interesting because should have changes everything. It takes us into the past.
That's right. Should have is used to talk about things in the past, things that didn't happen but that we think should have happened, or things that did happen but shouldn't have.
Let me say that again in simple words. Should have means I'm looking at the past and I see that something was a mistake, or I see that a better choice existed. Should have is about regret or about judging what happened before.
The structure is subject plus should have plus past participle. Now, past participle sounds a bit scary, but let's think of examples. For regular verbs, it usually ends in ed. Studied, called, arrived, listened. For irregular verbs, it's the third form. Gone, done, seen, eaten, spoken.
So, you should have studied more. She should have called a doctor. They should have left earlier. I should have listened to your advice. He should have eaten breakfast before the exam. Can you hear the difference? All of those are about the past. Something happened or didn't happen, and now we're looking back and saying, that was a mistake. The better choice would have been this. Here's a situation. Imagine you and your friend were going to meet at 2 o'clock. Your friend arrives at 3 o'clock. You're upset. You say, you should have been here at 2. That means it was wrong that you weren't here at 2. The right thing in the past was to arrive at 2. Exactly. Or imagine you didn't study for a test and you failed. Now you say, I should have studied harder. That means in the past, studying harder would have been the right choice. But I didn't do it, and now I regret it.
And in spoken English, we often shorten should have to should have. Listen, I should have called you. You should have told me. We should have left earlier. It sounds very natural in conversation. First tip, always use a past participle after should have. Not the base verb, not the present tense verb, the past participle. I should have gone, not I should have go. You should have eaten, not you should have eat. Second tip, should have almost always carries an emotional feeling. Regret, disappointment, criticism. When you say, I should have done that, there's an emotion behind it. You're looking back and feeling something. Maybe sadness, frustration, or just the realization that a better path existed. Third tip, should have in the negative becomes shouldn't have. And this is used to criticize a past action that actually happened. For example, you shouldn't have said that, meaning you said it, but it was wrong. He shouldn't have driven so fast, meaning he drove fast and it was a mistake. Yes! So shouldn't have is for things that happened but were wrong, and should have is for things that didn't happen but should have. Can you write one example in the comments? Think about something from your own life. Maybe, I should have started learning English earlier, or I shouldn't have eaten that whole pizza last night. Share it. We love reading your examples. Wonderful. Now let's go deeper. We've covered the basic forms of should and should have, but now let's talk about how they're actually used in real conversation, especially for expressing regret, giving feedback, and even being polite or diplomatic. Let's start with regret. Regret means wishing something in the past had been different, and should have is the perfect tool for expressing regret in English. People use it all the time, in casual conversation, in apologies, and even in professional situations. Here's a scene. Imagine you had a job interview and you didn't get the job. You're talking to a friend about it. You say, I should have prepared more, or I should have arrived earlier, or I should have dressed more professionally. Each of those is an expression of regret. And your friend might respond, you shouldn't have been so nervous, or you should have called me. I would have helped you practice. See how the conversation naturally flows using should have? Now, let's talk about how should is used in polite advice. Sometimes we want to suggest something without sounding too strong or pushy. Should is actually very useful here because it's softer than must or need to. For example, a doctor talking to a patient might say, you should try to get more sleep. That sounds caring and professional. If the doctor said, you must get more sleep immediately, well, that sounds a bit alarming. Yes, so should is a very polite and gentle way to give advice, and in professional English, you'll hear it all the time. We should consider all the options. The team should review the report before Thursday. You should speak to HR about this.
Now let's look at a really interesting usage, using should have to give feedback on someone's past work or decision. This is common in workplaces, in classrooms, and between friends.
Imagine a manager speaking to an employee. You should have sent the report by Monday, not Wednesday. That's clear professional feedback. It says the right time was Monday. What happened? Wednesday was too late. Or a teacher to a student. You should have read the chapter before class. Again, the feedback is about the past, what the right action was, but it didn't happen. Here's a mini practice moment. I'm going to describe a situation and you say the should have or shouldn't have sentence. Ready?
Ooh, I like this. Go ahead.
Okay, someone forgot to bring an umbrella and got soaked in the rain. What do you say?
You should have brought an umbrella.
Easy. Perfect. Okay, next one. Someone ate street food, didn't feel well, and now has a stomachache. You shouldn't have eaten that street food, or you should have been more careful. Great, you're getting it. Now try this at home. Think of 3 situations from your own week and make should have or shouldn't have sentences. Say them out loud. It really helps them stick in your memory.
Absolutely. And here's one more thing. Tone matters a lot. If you say you should have done this with a harsh, annoyed tone, it can sound like you're blaming someone. But with a softer, caring tone, it sounds like helpful advice. So practice not just the words, but the tone. English is not just about the words, it's also about how you say them.
All right, let's talk about mistakes. And look, we all make them. When I first started learning English, I made so many mistakes with should. Smith, have you ever mixed these up?
Oh, many times. I remember writing in an email, "You should have study more carefully," and someone gently corrected me. I was so embarrassed. But that's how we learn, right?
Exactly. Mistakes are part of the process. So let's look at the 4 most common mistakes people make with should and should have. And let's really understand why they're wrong, not just that they're wrong.
Mistake number 1, using should when you mean should have. This happens a lot. For example, I should tell you about this yesterday. Incorrect. Yesterday means past, so you need should have. The correct sentence is, I should have told you about this yesterday.
Why is it wrong? Because should plus base verb is for now or the future. If you're talking about the past, you need should have plus past participle. The time word like yesterday, last week, earlier is your clue. If it's a past time, use should have.
Mistake number 2, forgetting the have and using just should plus past participle, like I should gone to the gym. Incorrect. You can't jump from should directly to a past participle. You need the have in the middle. The correct sentence is, I should have gone to the gym.
This one is really common, and it's an easy fix. Just remember should plus have plus past participle. The have is always there. Never skip it. I should have done it. You should have said something. We should have arrived earlier.
Mistake number 3, using should plus to plus base verb, like you should to eat breakfast. This is incorrect. There's no to after should. The correct sentence is simply, you should eat breakfast. Modal verbs like should, would, could, must, they never take to before the main verb.
Right. Compare I need to study. That's correct because need takes to. But I should study? No to. Just should plus base verb directly.
Mistake number 4, using should have with a base verb instead of a past participle. For example, you should have studied harder. Incorrect. Study is the base verb. The past participle is studied. The correct sentence is, you should have studied harder. This is such a common one, and I understand why. You know should have goes together, and then you think of the verb, and you use the basic form. But the rule is past participle always. Should have gone, not should have go. Should have eaten, not should have eat. Should have been, not should have be. A fun way to remember this, should have takes you into the past, so the verb has to be past too, past participle. Oh, I like that! Should have takes you into the past, so the verb must be past. That's a great little memory trick. Can you tell me which of these is correct in the comments? I should have called you, or I should have called you. Write your answer down there, and let's see who gets it right. And remember, every mistake you make is a step forward. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Be afraid of not trying at all. Every expert was once a beginner who made lots of mistakes. Well said. You're doing great. Let's keep going.
Okay, everyone, it's time to practice. This is one of my favorite parts. We're going to do a choose the correct sentence activity. I'll give you 2 sentences, and you decide which one is correct, and more importantly, why it's correct. This is a great exercise because it helps you really lock in the difference between should and should have. Ready? Let's go. Situation 1. Your friend has a headache right now. Which is correct? A, you should take some medicine. B, you should have taken some medicine. The answer is A, you should take some medicine. Why? Because the headache is happening right now. We're giving advice for the present moment, so we use should plus base verb. If we used option B, you should have taken some medicine, that would mean the headache is already over and we're looking back saying they made a mistake by not taking medicine. Different meaning. Situation 2, your colleague missed an important meeting this morning. Which is correct? A, you should go to the meeting. B, you should have gone to the meeting. The answer is B. You should have gone to the meeting. The meeting already happened this morning. We're talking about the past, and we're expressing that missing the meeting was wrong. So should have plus past participle.
Situation 3. A student wants to improve their English. Which is correct? A, you should practice speaking every day. B, you should have practiced speaking every day.
A is correct. You should practice speaking every day. This is advice for now and the future. The student can start practicing starting today.
Good. Now, situation 4. Imagine someone spent all their money on the weekend and now they can't pay their rent. Which is more appropriate? A, you shouldn't spend so much money. B, you shouldn't have spent so much money. B, you shouldn't have spent so much money because the spending already happened. It's in the past. Shouldn't have spent is for past actions that were mistakes. Option A, you shouldn't spend so much money, could be good advice for the future, like going forward, don't spend so much. But if we're reacting to what they already did, B is the right one. Now here's your challenge. I want you to create your own sentence, one using should for the present and one using should have for the past. They can be about anything in your life. Write them in the comments on Talk Fluent Hub's page. We want to read them. Yes, please share. And remember, don't aim for perfection. Aim for communication. Your English doesn't have to be perfect to be understood and appreciated. Real conversations have mistakes. Real conversations have pauses. That's completely okay.
Oh my goodness, we covered so much today. I'm so proud of all of you for sticking with us through this whole episode. Let's do a quick recap of everything we learned.
Okay, let's go through the three main things we covered today. Number one, should is used for present and future advice, recommendations, and suggestions. The structure is subject plus should plus base verb. You should drink more water. She should see a doctor. Number two, should have is used to talk about the past. We use it to express regret, give feedback, or say what the right action was in the past. The structure is subject plus should have plus past participle. I should have studied harder. You should have called me. We should have left earlier. And number three, the negative forms are shouldn't for present and future and shouldn't have for past. You shouldn't stay up so late. That's advice for now. You shouldn't have stayed up so late. That's about something that already happened and was a mistake.
And we talked about the four most common mistakes: using should when you mean should have, skipping the have in should have, putting to after should, and using a base verb instead of a past participle after should have. Here's a reflective question for you. Think about your week. Is there something you should have done differently? Or something you should do this week to improve your English? Say it out loud right now. I should have, or I should. Your English brain is stronger when you speak. We want to hear from you. Leave a comment on this video. Write a should sentence or a should have sentence from your own life. And if you haven't already, please like this video. It really helps other English learners find Talk Fluent Hub. And share it with a friend who's learning English. You'd be doing them a huge favor. Also, make sure you're subscribed to Talk Fluent Hub so you never miss our episodes. We put out new content regularly, and every single episode is designed to help you speak English more naturally and confidently. You're doing amazing. Every episode you listen to, every sentence you practice, every comment you write, it all adds up. Language learning takes time, but you are making progress every single day. Don't ever forget that. We believe in you, and we're so happy you spent this time with us at Talk Fluent Hub today. You should be really proud of yourself for taking the time to learn. Now, go practice, and we'll see you next time.